So I realized the other day that it has been quite some time since I've done a money goals video. In fact, I think the last video I did about money goals was last November 2020, which surprisingly after posting was one of my more popular videos. But in today's video, I would like to update these goals and show you guys my end of 2021 and early 2022 money goals that I have established. I've created about 16 of them. I've put them in a spreadsheet, and this time around I've gotten a little bit more specific on what these goals are. Last time I said things just like, I want to start investing more each month. And I've even given myself deadlines, which I'll admit are a little bit lofty at this point in time. You'll see why in a second. I'm going to be sharing my money goals spreadsheet tracker screen somewhere on one of these sides. I don't know which one yet. Kicking things off for my first money goal for the middle of 2021 through the beginning of 2022, and that was to establish and create a 401k plan with my current employer. This has been something that I've put off for a long time now. I believe I needed to work 6 months with my employer before I can begin contributing towards a 401k plan. But I think come September, it's going to be 3 years since I've worked at my current company. And so I really pushed this one off to the side. June 25th, that is when I began contributing to my 401k plan. I will put in here that this one is complete. Boom. And look at that. I even got a little fancy. It turns green when it says complete. The other money goal I had was to pay off my car loan. I wanted to get rid of it because having that car loan bill due every month was no fun. And I would rather be putting that money either towards saving or towards investing or towards getting rid of the other higher interest debts I have, such as my student loans. So on July 23rd, I went ahead and took some of my savings and dumped it towards the remaining amount on my car loan. I actually made a video about that. You can go ahead. I will leave the link in the description or up in one of these little bubble things that pops up here sometimes. So let's say in here that it is complete. Boom. There we go. Complete. Then I wanted to be able to pay off at least 35% of my current student loans. And the last time I checked, this month, this is the month of August, and on the 10th, I sent, I think, around $800 towards my student loans. And I believe at the time of filming this now, I am currently at 35% of being paid off of my student loans, which sounds so small when you think about it in the long run, because it's been like almost 3 years now since I've been paying off these loans. Granted, I haven't been going as fast as I am now with paying them off, but nonetheless, still trucking ahead with paying these off. So we can say that this was completed. It was completed on August 10th. Beautiful. So now we're going to be getting into goals that, as you can imagine, I have not completed yet. These are going to be future goals, goals for either the end of 2021 or for the beginning portion of 2022. And some of them are a little bit lofty, but we'll go through and flush them out. I'd rather be shooting a little bit higher towards these goals, especially when it comes to paying off debt, because that means I might strive a little bit harder to meet that goal than if I were to undershoot it and then just kind of drag my feet, so to speak, to make it to the finish line and the end date for this goal. So let's go ahead and look at the next goal here on the list. It says to have 45% of my student loan debts paid off by the end of the year. Now, I was calculating it in my head before starting filming this video, and I think that if I were to go at the average rate that I have been, which is around $2,000 per month, that would get me down to about $82,000 left on my total student loan account for both private and government student loans, which I think is right around 45% having been paid off. If I get it down to 82%, we'll see. We'll see if I make it to that point. Now that goal is not complete, so we have to go, is it complete? We have to be honest and say, no, it's not. Why did that turn green? So we have to be honest, and have we met this goal yet of being at 45% of having my student loans paid off? No, I have not, so we'll just say no. And it turns red because it's menacing because we haven't completed it yet. The next goal on here is to reach negative $10,000 for my net worth. As you guys know, I post monthly net worth tracking videos. And at my last video, I believe I was at negative $39,000. So I would have some work to do if I wanted to be able to meet that by the deadline, which is the end of 2021. That could happen. It would mean that I would have to be on par or even, what's it, birdie? I don't know golfing terms. I would have to be better than average for what I've been doing with paying off my student loans, and my asset column would have to increase quite a bit if I were to maybe actually do an assessment on my house, because I think that would drive it up, probably actually in the positive direction. But we're going to undershoot still for the house. Stay tuned for my net worth tracking videos. Have we met this goal of negative $10,000 for my net worth? Nope. That turns red again. Up next, I have by April of 2022, I would like to have my private student loans paid off in full. That's my private student loans, not my government student loans. Yes, there's a huge difference. And if you haven't noticed already, at the time of filming this video, those government student loans are once again going to be pushed back into further deferment for another 4 months until January of 2022. And we were told that this is the last pushback. This is the last deadline extension. So after this, get ready because those student loans will become due again. Oops. Uh-oh. Kind of scary there. I'm not really too worried, but it will kind of stink to have to then take some of my private student loan money and now allocating it towards my government loans. But oh well, it's just part of life. So we haven't really met that, so we got to say that we haven't done it. Not a chance. Yeah, not a chance. Up next, we have to be more consistent with monthly budgeting. I'm just trying to set a very soon deadline for myself that I want to start really taking budgeting more seriously than I have. It's something that on this channel, I like to talk about money and finances and net worth tracking and paying off debt, but I hate budgeting. I don't like it. I talked about it in my last video that I made last week. But yeah, I don't like budgeting, and so I need to be on top of it though, because I'm sure there are places in my expenses where I could be able to cut $100 from my monthly expenses. Those two kind of go hand in hand. If I'm taking my budgeting more seriously and I'm really fine-tuning on where my money is going, I'll be able to cut from those expenses. These two goals have not been met at the time of filming this. Then the next goal on here that I have to be met by December, the end of the year 2021, I have generate $100 of side hustle or passive income per month. Everyone likes to say that word, passive income. But it would be super duper nice to have some other supplemental source of income, even if it is making $10, $20, $30, or even $100 extra per month. That would really help out with being able to throw another $100 towards my student loan debts, especially with the coming end of the deferment for the government loans. Being able to chuck $100 on top of everything else I'm doing would just make this go much, much quicker. The next goal I have on here is kind of a funny one. Very few of you may know this about me, but I love to garden. It's one of those hobbies that when early springtime comes around and summer's here, I'm in my heyday because I love to garden and I love to grow crops such as zucchinis and peppers and eggplants and tomatoes. And I don't just like to sell those things specifically. I like to make something from those and then sell them that way. And so this year I have actually put together a couple different recipes for a hot pepper jelly and a hot pepper mustard because I have so many pepper plants. I think I have 75 pepper plants outside my window over there. The point is that I want to be able to take all those peppers and generate some source of income from that. I know it's not going to be something that's year-round, and it's definitely not passive. Gardening is not a passive income source whatsoever. But I would like to be able to take some of the fruit of my labor and turn it into cash in some way, shape, or form. And hopefully I can do that by March, and maybe I can even make a video about how that went down and how much I was actually able to raise from the hard labor it is to put together a garden and grow crops from seeds, especially 75 pepper plants. The next goal that I've set up on my list here of the money goals for 2021 and 22 are to start sinking funds. Basically, what a sinking fund is that you are allocating a specific portion of money, either per month or per week, towards a specific fund or a specific expense that you are going to have to pay for in the future, whether that be car maintenance, or some people like to do Christmas, or if they know they have a wedding coming up next year, etc. It's an expense that you know is coming up around the corner and it will be here sooner than later. So you start now designating some of your paycheck or your budgeting towards that expense. Now, I think that's an absolute great idea because my wife is the type of person that likes to just say, hey, let's go on a vacation. And I'm the type of person that's like, oh, we didn't budget for that. We don't have any cash set aside for that. But sinking funds would definitely take the headache out of that conversation. It would be nice that once our cars need new tires or something does break at the house, we have cash set aside for that. The other goal that I have here for the month of August of 2021, and this is to invest $200 per month towards my Roth IRA. When I wrote this one down, I was kind of thinking very future-minded, and I want to be contributing more towards retirement accounts, and that's great. I may put this one on hold. Tell me what you guys think, but I would much rather at this point in time, if I have $200 left over in my budget, and I am contributing towards my 401k, but if I am having $200 left over my budget, I think it might be served best if I give that money towards my student loans, because those are getting a much higher interest rate than what I could get with putting it towards a Roth IRA. Yes, I know about compound interest and all that wonderful stuff, but I just think it would be best to put it towards my student loans. Tell me what you guys think down in the comments below about that decision. But that's, I think, what I'm going to do now. So no, I have not met it. Moving on down the list to a goal that I have designated for the end of 2021, and that is combine Eden's bank account with mine. Eden is my wife, and up until now we've been married for almost a year, and we have kind of neglected to combine our bank accounts. Now, everyone says that that is a good thing to do, especially if you're married. And we've just kind of been hesitant and dragging our feet on that one for various reasons, primarily because I'm just lazy and I'm like, put it towards the back of the to-do list. Then another end of the year goal, I put open a Roth IRA alternative for Eden, that's my wife, or I should say a Roth IRA equivalent. My wife kind of owns her own business in cosmetology. She does it out of our own home. And at this point in time, we have nothing really set up for her retirement. And it might seem silly because she's pretty young and it's like, really need to think about retirement now? The answer to that one is absolutely yes. Of course. That's the best time to think about it. So I want to set up some form of Roth IRA. I think there is one called a SEP IRA, which is used for self-employed individuals. But I have set up a deadline for myself of doing that by the end of the year. We'll see how that goes. Moving on to the last two goals that I have set up for myself for this year of 2021 going into 2022. And that is begin income and expense tracking for Eden's business. As I just mentioned, I want to start income and expense tracking for that. We really don't do any budgeting. We don't do any bookkeeping, which is really, really bad. But we need to get under wraps with some form of bookkeeping other than just writing down on a piece of paper what each person paid and on what date. We want to get some type of formal system going, maybe even a business bank account set up for that. These are things that we've kind of thrown around in the air when we've ridden in the car together or something like that. But I want to do that sooner than later, so I put up 8/20, but it's probably not going to get done by this Friday, but I want that done as soon as possible. Now the last one on the list, this one goes hand in hand with owning your own business, and that is I want to learn how to take my wife's business expenses and be able to deduct them from our taxes. Really awesome, more cash to use towards paying off debt. And then once those debts are paid off, then we can use it towards investing and growing the business even further. So that would be awesome and something that we are really excited to do. But these are the money goals that I have set up for the end of the year 2021, going into probably the first 4 months of 2022. And like I said earlier, I've made them kind of lofty. I've made them somewhat far-reaching and sometimes even hard to attain, but that's the point. If they are harder goals to reach, that causes me to think more outside the box and how I'm going to meet a deadline by the end of the year of being able to pay off 45% of my student loans. That's kind of crazy. But if I think outside the box and maybe even cut down my expenses and build some type of side hustle income, who knows? Who knows what can happen? I'm leaving the doors open. And if you guys want to, leave some comments down below of what you think about my money goals. Are they silly? Are they achievable? Do you have some of your own? Be sure to share if you do have some of your own, because I love hearing from you guys and hearing about how your financial journey is going. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in the next video. Take care.